A single AA battery seems ordinary, but used right, it can power a real signal receiver. I've tried this many times. It works almost every time, so don't overthink it. Grab your tools and let's get started. As you can see on the screen, I am using a knife to gently scrape the positive and negative terminals of the AA battery. This helps make the surface less smooth, so the solder can stick more firmly in the next step. Work gently, keep your hand steady, and avoid scratching too deep. After applying a thin layer of flux to the negative terminal of the battery, I use solder to create a small joint on that spot. Once it cools down, I flip the battery over and repeat the same process on the positive terminal. Here, I have a charging module with a detachable cable, but the plug that connects to the phone is broken. That is not an issue. In fact, it actually makes the wiring process for this part a bit more convenient. Alright, after connecting the two ends of the charging cable to the battery terminals, I place the battery on the charger's cover and secure it firmly. I think placing the battery horizontally on the cover looks the best. It feels balanced and neat. If you often use tape to hold things in place, it is better to switch to hot glue instead. Hot glue gives a stronger hold, handles heat better, and keeps everything looking cleaner, especially if you want your project to look neat and last longer. You might be wondering how a simple battery can play a role in signal reception. Hold on, I will explain the mechanism behind it at the end of the video. This cable should also be secured along the charger body with hot glue, because it keeps the wire steady and prevents it from being pulled or damaged during use. It also gives the whole setup a cleaner, more finished look. So, the first stage of the simple antenna setup is done. Now, we move on to the final step, the one that brings everything together. Moving on to the next step, I will use this outlet as the base for the antenna, but there is no need to plug the charging module in yet. For now, just remove the cover to add the signal wire connection. Next, I have prepared a coaxial cable to connect the antenna device to the television. The first step is attaching one end to the outlet, while the other end will be dealt with later, when we move on to connecting it to the television. The connection is straightforward. I will split this end of the cable into two parts: the copper core for conducting electricity and the metal mesh shielding to prevent interference. After finishing the connection, I put the cover back in place, preparing for the next step, handling the other end of the cable. With the other end of the cable, we'll have a straight F connector and a 90-degree F connector added, allowing a direct connection to the television. Here, I noticed a small exposed area, so I wrapped a few layers of tape around it to minimize the risk of electric shock and make it safer. Alright, the homemade antenna setup is complete. Looking at it overall, what do you think? Any feedback, leave a comment below. Now, let us start testing it. After 7 seconds, the screen displayed a signal. It seems to be twice as slow as the antennas in previous videos, but that does not take away from its success. If you want to see the real performance, be patient. In a moment, I will show a close-up as I unplug and reconnect the cable. After waiting for a while, the screen is still running normally, with no change. Now, we will unplug the cable and reconnect it to check the actual result. The homemade antenna is now complete. The AA battery does not supply power, but acts as a signal sensor, working with the wire and coaxial cable to receive signals for the television with just a few simple items. You can try this yourself and see how it works. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a try, leave a comment, and share your experience. Hit like and subscribe so you do not miss the next video.